So spring is here, and you've done a lot of aerobic training over the winter, done a lot of zone 2, and it's time to build up some power. And if you're like me and you live in rolling countryside, there aren't any big hills round where I live. Biggest is sort of 5-8 minute climbs, 10-minute climb maybe, but most of it is rolling countryside. So you need to develop power to get up hills quickly and keep that momentum going. And one of the ways of doing that is developing your VO2 max, the maximum amount of oxygen you can uptake in any one moment. And if you've watched my previous build video, which is in the description below, and I'll tag it on at the end, watch that first if you haven't seen it. This is a follow-on to that, some more ideas to get you strong. As you can see, still pretty wet here in the UK. Lots of roads are flooded and mud guards are still needed. So before any of these 3 sessions, you need to do a good warm-up, because they're going to tax you and you're really going to feel it. So I do at least 20 minutes, gradually ramping up the power, maybe a couple of harder short efforts just to rev up the engine, ready for work. And the first session is 30-30s, which is, as it sounds, 30 seconds on, probably as hard as you can, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, and so on, until you've done 10 of those. And then have a good 10 or so minutes rest, and then do another set. And by then, you'll be done. So that's the 30-30 session. Really good for developing that repeatability and that short, sharp, explosive power. If you're finding this content useful and enjoying the channel, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And to all those people who have subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. It's amazing to see how the channel's grown in a year. Another workout you can do on a different day is over and unders. And over and unders are hard. So with over and unders, you're going over your threshold power and then under it for a period of time. So if you know what your threshold is, say it's 200 watts, you could be going a minute at 220 and a minute at 170 or 180. Then another minute over, another minute under. And do that for up to, well, as long as you can, but 8 minutes would be a good place to start. If you have an 8-minute climb, a good place to do it on there. And try to do 8 minutes of that, hopefully 2 or 3 times, with a 10-minute break in between. And those over and unders will really develop your ability to hold that threshold power and develop that muscular endurance that's so important on climbs. And again, as before, don't forget to do a good 20-minute warm-up beforehand and a cool down afterwards. And lastly, Third session is a VO2 pyramid. So that again is a good warm-up, and then it's basically on and off, but you're building each time and then you reduce. So you'd be doing, say, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, maybe up to 6 minutes on if you can, and 6 minutes off. So on is hard riding, where at the end of the time you probably wouldn't have been able to do a lot longer, but not completely blowing up. Otherwise you'll never make it through the workout. Once you've done the 6 minutes on, 6 minutes off, you do 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 4, 3, 2 minutes on, and then 2 minutes off, and your break. So you could change that a lot. You could make it smaller by only going up to 4 minutes and trying a 4-minute pyramid. You could go longer, and of course after a rest of probably 10 or 20 minutes you could try it again and do another pyramid just like that, and that will really help develop that range of VO2. So if you do all of those sessions, make sure that you have a good rest between them. So if you're going to give any of those sessions a go, I would certainly only do 1 or 2 of them at most a week, with a good gap between them. But if you do those sorts of efforts over a month or so, you really do notice a difference, and it really does develop your top end power and ability to climb short, sharp hills and keep that momentum going on rolling rides. Don't forget to drop in the comments any sessions you do to really improve your VO2 or top end power. What's worked for you, especially if you've got older? What sessions are still having an effect? So I hope you find those tips useful, and until next time, bye for now.